did we watch?
The BB.
Okay. So Chris and Mackenzie, you love this.
I want to say that Mackenzie had this at a 5-star at one point.
No.
That's not a lie.
I did this at a 5-star at one point.
Yeah.
Anyways, well,
Do you like it, Chris?
Yeah, no, I like this movie. I was gonna say, I saw this movie kind of earlier on, I guess, you know, and I liked it. That being said, like, I've seen a lot more slow cinema movies that are a lot better, you know, in retrospect. But I still like this, like, a good amount, you know. And I think that scene at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's that scene.
There's that scene,
and then there's the thing after.
You know what I mean? I think the thing after is amazing.
Okay.
I think that's probably my favorite scene in any Vincent Gallo movie. Of the two, there is.
By that scene, you mean the...
Well, there's
that.
There's a sexually explicit part. Then there's the part after.
Yeah,
the part after I'm talking about.
Is
but honestly,
incredible.
yeah, I think so.
And the thing before it is fucking stupid.
I can make the case for it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I don't think it's that stupid. I think so.
I want to hear you talk.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm in this movie, in the everything this movie is in the context of it. I don't think it's stupid.
I would love to hear you talk. I'm serious.
Okay,
I would
go
love to
on.
hear you, but go talk.
It's kind of funny though, but that's like kind of besides the point. It's just because Vincent Gallo's a meme at this point. Mackenzie ruined him.
At the beginning of the movie, you were already cracking up just at the sight of.
No,
him.
I was not.
Is it the please?
Yeah, please come with me. And also, I'm not gonna lie, the beginning of this movie's stupid. I think, and I thought that the first time I watched it, I always thought the beginning was like bad, and I was
like just like the whole racing track thing.
No, not the beginning. Like when he first talks, picks up the girl, and then like the scene where he goes to visit the parents' house with the bunny in the house. I was like, and I still don't like those scenes really that much. I kind of understand them more, but I think the movie gets better as it goes along, and so yeah. I mean, I honestly still like this. But yeah, I mean, well, should we bounce off or?
Yeah, before you two battle, I'm gonna say my 2 cents.
Wait, I want to hear what you think.
I genuinely think there's stuff about this that is interesting because, like, talking about kind of what I gathered from it, like, because you know this being my first watch, so yeah, just Mackenzie and Chris have seen this, and me and Carlos have not. This being my first watch of it, what I like started gathering as it went along was like I clearly sensed this feeling of like emptiness. You know what I mean? Like this man is stuck to a road, and when he's not, you know, on the road, he's doing something. Is filling up his car with gas, or he's on his motorcycle.
Or talking to women.
Or talking to women. Yeah, of course. Sorry. Yeah, of course.
So sad. Just your life.
Huh?
He's so sad.
That's a reference.
But the point is like, you know, I find it interesting because, you know, all you're really left with is kind of through his point of view, seeing what I will admit, pretty scenery, so, like on multiple occasions, through his dirty windshield, you know what I mean? And it's very, authentic. And obviously whatever this was shot on and how it was shot, it's raw, it's purposeful, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think the point is like this guy is stuck in a limbo where he's got nothing to do but drive and race his motorcycle, and he's clearly wanting to re-experience or rather fill like this void and
Daisy.
with that Daisy made. And, you know, he wants that, you know, he wants a girl in his life, really. I'll put it bluntly.
He wants a love in his life.
Yeah, he does. He does. And so, you know, and yeah, the explicit scene, I'll be honest, I was kind of watching it and I was like, come on, Vinny. Come on, man. Like, come on.
I would agree.
Like, you know, I was just kind of like, it definitely bothered me, but I will say, because the thing is, what I find interesting is like, okay, one of the girls he meets, Rose, who is a prostitute, I'm assuming. Like, he passes the first 2 prostitutes. He knows Rose's name. Maybe he just thinks differently of her, but he doesn't do anything sexual with her because he doesn't really want to. Yeah, the point is that, like, and then having that whole explicit scene with Daisy, right? Daisy. Yeah, Daisy is like, yeah, I must admit, it's kind of just like, I'm sorry, it kind of breaks the zone of...
The art from the artist?
No, well, not necessarily... Okay, I guess you could say that, but what I'm saying is like, it takes me out of the movie, because I'm just thinking about, like, you know, Vinny, the guy who directed this, is main actor, wrote this, all this
Vinny G.
stuff, you know, probably helped cast, you know, it's like all
It's like,
this.
who should we cast?
Yeah,
as the main?
exactly. yeah.
Wait.
Looking in the mirror, asking that question. No, yeah. The point is like, yeah. There's definitely like, it got to me in the point where it's just like, okay, like, come on.
Yeah.
But I also kind of understand it because
Yeah.
like he was very distraught from doing that, and I think he's just like, you know, he wanted something like that. He wanted that thrill or that filling thing, you know, that the thing to fill the void, very much. But he also hates the idea of it. And, you know, when we come to find out what happened to Daisy and that she happens to be dead, that just kind of puts the nail in the coffin that, like, oh, this is not just some guy who is just a pervert. he's somebody who, you know, lost someone and he's got nothing left, it seems. Literally, I mean, like, what? He just, like, you know, he visits Daisy's, I think, were those her parents or whatever, you know? And it's just, like, talking about memories about her, you know? And it's like they don't even remember him.
He's trying to, and then the thing with the women, he's trying to rekindle the magic.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just, it's really sad to see, you know what I mean? And I do think, like, this slow, desolate kind of feeling of him just driving around and hearing the music, you know? I really do like the idea of it, and some of it does work with me, and some of the shots and, like, the look of it, I fuck with. But there are also, I must admit, there were times where it's just like, I was starting, like, my mind was just wandering.
It's just driving.
Yeah. My mind was
I get
wandering.
you.
I couldn't help but just kind of, like, start to drift off in thought, and I was catching myself, and I was like, well, just listen, watch, you know, and I was trying to lock in, but I couldn't help to drift.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely some parts where I was like,
It was cringe.
yeah, it was cringe. It was
Bad
you know,
acting.
yeah,
Oh,
bad
yeah.
acting. Yeah, bad acting.
I don't.
And stuff like that. Yeah, there's definitely, because near that end, I you know, just the last, like, what? How long was that? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? It felt like 10
When
years.
Daisy comes in the...
Yeah, just from when
the
Daisy
second?
arrives. When
Okay, good 15 minutes.
when Daisy arrives to the hotel room and till the ending, like, I have mixed feelings throughout all of that. You know, the ending being him driving again, like, I liked that, you know what I mean? It's just, that's symbolic of just, like, you know, it's never going to leave. It's never going to stop, you know? So, yeah, there's definitely good things to this. I cannot deny that. But there's definitely things that bug me. And that moment, that scene, the explicit scene, it's, you know, it's not just like, oh, excessive, but also it's just like, dude, it does take me out.
Yeah.
It does. It
Yeah,
simply does.
definitely.
And like I said, I already mentioned how I can see the weight to it, and I can see how it's maybe important, and maybe you'll have more light to shed on that. But I can't deny there's problems with it. So yeah, right now I'm pretty fucking mixed on this.
I see.
I'm pretty mixed.
I was gonna say, like, there was parts of that scene when Daisy comes in the end that I remember that whole time. The first time I watched, I thought it was great, but there were parts where it was just kind of like, some parts were kind of
Teetering.
on, like, bad, but I still think it's a really good scene. I think that I have a question for both of you.
Me and Carlos.
Yeah. Okay. If this starred someone else that wasn't Vincent Gallo, but he made it, would the explicit scene bother you, or would it be?
I
would
think
it be
it still
stupid?
would bother me.
Okay. Is it just
Debatable.
A
Debatable.
lot of the reason why it is so scummy is because it is him. Because kind of what Troy was saying. I mean, you were saying
It just
it's literally Vincent Gallo does this whole thing. He's director, producing, writing. He's the man behind everything.
Yeah.
And literally getting one of the lead movie to suck your dick on camera. It's such like oh come on, dude. But, but let's say like
theoretically?
I don't know. It just felt. So Troy, remind me again what you said. Well, at least why you were like, I can kind of see why this is in here.
Well,
you were claiming that.
I think, like, it's interesting how, like, he avoided having, you know, any kind of sexual relationship with that prostitute, which, you know, it could have been easy. I mean, it was literally, she was willing to do it for money, and he had the money. Like, he could have just done it if he wanted to. If he just wanted to have his dick sucked. If he wanted just to get off. But he didn't, because, like, he doesn't really want to do that. You know, he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's not somebody that just wants to get off. just with any possible
it's
girl.
Not like, oh yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
that's so
exactly.
awesome.
Like
It's
you can
not
tell
that.
he gets intimate with like the different women that he meets, and like he's kissing them, but he never like stays with them. You know what I mean? Like even the girl that he met at the gas station in the beginning. You know, it's just like, go get your stuff, and then he just stops. He like waits, and then he just drives off because he's like, what's the point?
I don't even think I don't even.
So then, what does that mean about him finally getting off at the end?
Well, because then like I think that shows like that Daisy was like a different girl to him. You know what I mean? And I think he really, really, really misses this girl. You know what I mean? And so guilty. Like obviously like it's guilty. The fact that he even so like the point is, if it was an imaginary thing, you know, like in the movie, if this was an imaginary thing that happened, he's guilty to even think of that. You know what I mean? Because like this girl who had his baby, you know, or was going to have his baby, who he loved very much. And it's just like he misses her and he loves her. But, you know, I think bit of a stretch. You know, this is just maybe my guess. It seems like he's kind of also trying to let go. Like, trying to, like, you know, let go of her in a way. I think
that the driving is part of that.
Yes, exactly.
You know, but he just can't.
Yeah, he's, like, trying to get away. And so, like, having that moment, just him, like, literally the sexual scene, is both just his lust and his like urges that come through, and he regrets it.
And they finally
and it finally happens, and then you know, and then we find out, oh, she's not alive. And so I can see the weight to it. But yes, Chris, to answer your question, because he answered yours and I kind of relate to that. Yes, I think just I don't know, something about it's just the fact that it's Vinny. Like, okay, because I was watching it, and it was first just like, it's like, okay, whatever. It's definitely explicit. It's then and there, and it's a long scene, but you know, I think it's more so I like thinking about like what it means, like. You know, what it actually represents more so than what actually happened. I like thinking about that after the fact. Watching it in the moment, I'm kind of just like, you know what I mean? No. I can't help but feel that.
I mean, but
so that's why even if it was a different cast, I'd still feel a little about it. But the fact that it's Vinny is the cherry on top.
Definitely. I would say also like, for me, like watching it, it's placed in there within this movie to be like visceral, and watching it is like gross. Like I don't particularly enjoy watching it, but I think it's important. Like I don't particularly get some sort of sick pleasure from watching anything in Sallow, but I love that movie. You know what I mean? I think there's a purpose to everything in it. But I mean, I can see where you guys are coming from, and I'll say this: like, it wasn't like Vincent Gallo doing that wasn't a power move, because one, he was dating the girl, and for two, at the end, he's, you know, portrayed totally as a loser. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, look at me, I'm so awesome, I'm getting my penis sucked. But like,
got the girl.
End, you know, at the end, he's like, he's like crying, he's weeping. It's pathetic. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, Vincent Gallo chose to do that and to, you know, be vulnerable, not only in a way where it's like, oh, you know, like showing that he was a loser and that he let these other guys, like he saw other guys with his girl and then walked away, but also, you know, to show that explicit scene on camera, you know. So I think that if you're not computing that, and if you're not thinking about all that, I can, you know, see why. And even after the fact, I can see why. But like that stuff, that context is kind of important, you know, when analyzing the scene.
But also in a sense, I don't know, because I don't have an issue with simulated sex in movies, but like when it's like this explicit, like this, it just literally turned into softcore pornography to me, and it just. I'm like, why even? I mean, I'm not saying that he can't. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, he can do whatever he wants making a movie. But it's like movies like, you know, different like tone. But like I watch Boogie Nights. I don't care. It's all simulated sex. It's not actually real. You know? It's not actually happening. And there's tons of like simulated, you know, actual penetration or like, you know, dick sucking in that movie. But this one actually, when it showed that scene. I don't know, it just makes me feel gross to a point where it's like, this is, I was like, I'm gonna spoil.
You sound like you're sick to your stomach right now, just recalling.
I'm gonna spoil kind of my thoughts, even though I did fall asleep for a bit, so maybe I do want to give it another rewatch, but, I will say, like, it kind of, not ruined the entire movie, but like, it took away a lot of good heart and goodwill that I had towards it. Because I'm actually really digging. I mean, I whispered out to you, Chris. I was actually liking this, and that scene kind of. I don't say it ruined the whole thing for me, but I was like, no, maybe this isn't what I.
Yeah, for me, it's the opposite.
I was like, really, like, okay.
Yeah, for me, it's like the opposite. Whereas, like, I can understand those scenes and I like those scenes, but I'm not loving the movie until the end. And I would say, overall, like, it's,
The ending kind of changes the movie.
of course, yeah.
Well, I think everything that happens after the actual hardcore scene is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
The way that he
The way it's
accomplished
filmed.
that, the way that they're just talking, he's crying, it's doing the voiceover with the footage of the party.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
wow, like, this
Yeah.
is something special. This is something good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And even before that, I was just, I was just really digging just kind of driving with Vincent in the car. I mean, I thought it was, I love the.
Driving with Vincent. New movie idea.
That's the carpool karaoke.
No, but it's just, god damn it, you took away the entire.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't know. It just, a lot of it is, most of it, the entire thing is just, there's a camera, shaky camera, he's driving.
Raw.
It's just cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It just like reminds me, like, I don't know, like that scene in the beginning where it's at nighttime, all the lights are on. It just like, I don't know, something about it just reminded me of like just driving alone late at night when I was younger, you know, or just like in a car, and it gave me like a really raw and like, I don't want to say like visceral feeling. I don't think that's the wrong word, but it's it reminded me of just like, I don't know.
It's
Just
filmed
like-
as
just
this, so it just reminds you of like life, like what you've seen with your eyes.
Yeah,
Because it takes away
and then
all
that
the.
part where it's raining, it's like raining pretty heavily, and just the windshield wipers and that really
That's
nice
awesome.
song. It's so good.
It's beautiful.
And then the movie. Okay, also like, what the fuck would a 3-hour cut of this thing been? Like, what the hell? Like,
Okay,
that's
it,
just-
it,
it's
it
not
was
3
2
hours.
hours. It wasn't.
okay.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, really?
And I
2
knew that.
hours.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
2 hours.
3 hours was funny.
Yeah.
Even 2 hours is pushing it, because like this.
I
thing,
would say.
Because
so.
this thing, it's like, if like what would it have been? Just more girls he would have picked up.
More
The
driving.
blowjob would have lasted 30
What if? Okay, what if like in the cut that was like 5
Okay.
minutes extra? Or, like 5.
Okay, Roger Ebert would.
No, that's probably why you hated
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I did doze off here and there because like, the movie really is just slow. It's slow. It's quiet. But either way, I can fall asleep during anything. That's my thing at this point. I can't keep saying that as an excuse or even just like it's not really an excuse. It just is.
Yeah.
No, but I will be probably watching it sometime this week
Okay.
when I get a good amount of sleep.
Oh.
No, yeah, no. I still think even though the ending really pissed me off in a way, I don't know. I actually like how both of you put it. And,
Yeah.
I get that. And hearing you guys talk about it, it's like, okay. But then I think about the visual. I'm like, okay.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I think
It's
it's,
like-
as we both said, when it's happening, it's kind of just like, okay.
And
But
even-
but you understand its
even
purpose
like,
afterwards.
Even like you said,
Yeah.
Chris, it's like yeah, look at it like this isn't like a big power move, because yeah, he's like at the end of it, he's crying, he's like kind of pathetic, and it's all sad. It's still, I don't know. And maybe because Vincent Gallo has become such a meme in this group, I can't help but think
Yeah.
he is such a douchebag in real life.
Yeah, I know.
That like even if he was having all these emotions, and even if it can be justified, or it's like I still look at it like, no, dude, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It could, because
Exactly.
no, because also we're all beating around the bush, but he had a pretty big dick,
Dirk Diggler.
dude.
Okay.
It's like
I'm gonna-
he has a dick photo.
I'm
Or
immediately,
that, or
I'm immediately
that.
changing the subject.
Yeah.
I have 2 things to say, and then I want to hear
Yeah,
Mack's
dick
thoughts.
photo.
Two things to say, then I want to hear Mack's thoughts. First off, this is kind of just like a shallow comparison, but I will say some of like the close-ups on the face and the intimate stuff, and honestly, kind of like the way it was shot, Cassavetes-ish.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I
What
thought you
were
would say.
gonna
I thought you were gonna say Bergman.
Oh well, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that
Well,
that's
that
just
one
like 2
shot.
scenes.
Yeah, that's 2 scenes. I would say more so Cassavetes than Bergman, definitely.
But you guys just
I
said
would
that during
say
the
so.
one scene when the 2 faces were converging, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's
like the
Bergman
Persona
shot.
thing, right?
Yeah, it's the Bergman shot.
Is that in more than just Persona?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Oh,
shut up,
That-
Mack. Mack just shook his head as if he knew.
He was like, oh, this.
I'm the only guy that's done
What
it.
Bergman? I don't. Has he seen? He's seen
Saw
no
Seven
Bergman.
Seal.
Oh, good for you.
Did you see
fell
Autumn
asleep.
Was it
Sonata?
the same day you saw Kane? Cool.
He
Dude,
fell
you
asleep
love
7
King.
times.
You know King.
Anyways, second thing I wanted to say Oh crap. Oh, something that I will kind of mention, like, I feel like a lot of people's problems with this film as well is, like, you know, a lot of it is about Bud, right? Obviously, like, no shit. But what I mean is like, I think the idea is you're supposed to sympathize with him, especially in the end. And I think the way this movie is executed and just how quiet and, like, very little dialogue, spoken word, and, like, you know, and just how it's shot, it's maybe a little bit more difficult for a lot of people to sympathize with this character.
Definitely.
And for me, like I said, throughout this I was mixed. Because I was like, I would watch this and I would be like, I could tell there was something missing with him. I could tell, like, you know, oh, it's not like he's just sad for no reason. There's something here. The reoccurring women thing, it can't just be that he's a pervert. It can't just be that. It can't just be that. In my
I could
opinion,
totally see
like,
people being mad about that.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm drawing attention to. Because once again, like, you know, the people that I've mentioned before,
honestly,
that I've seen this
guy.
the people that I've people that I've mentioned before that have seen this and, like, they hate this so much, they said stuff like that. Like in their reviews, they put stuff like, I didn't know we were supposed to sympathize with this guy until the very end. I thought he was just supposed to be a creep. Literally, like, people just, like, genuinely don't get this character. And then, you know, in the end with the explicit scene, and then the ending, I'm sure for a lot of people comes off as like, oh, a cheap attempt to get you to care about this guy that sucks.
I could see that.
I could see people complaining about that. I didn't really get that. I mean, maybe I got, like, a smidge of it, but to me, genuinely, I liked what you said, Carlos. Like, once it started showing those kind of, like, flashback scenes, that was maybe one of my favorite parts. Genuinely.
No, yeah,
it was just like, wow.
That's
you know,
awesome.
like, that changes everything. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to give this, but, Mac.
Wait, one more thing before you go. I was gonna say, everything about this movie that people say, I can understand why they dislike it, and, like, a little part of me agrees with it, but not enough to where it, like, ruins anything. But
Because you have this at a 7.
I have this at a 7. I think I don't know.
It's going up.
No, it's not going up. It's
Going down for
if it's gonna be a 6, it's gonna be a strong. If it's gonna be
a 7.
a 7, it's gonna be a
Light
light 7.
7.
But I don't know. Like I remember, I'm, like, a little bit more ambivalent, I feel like, than the first time I watched it. Just because the first time I watched it was so new, and the first time watching it, I think, is, like, with this kind of movie, is gonna be the best time. You know, a lot of movies, most movies that I love, like, almost get better each time you watch it. But this one, I think that nothing beats the first time, but I still definitely enjoyed watching it and thought it was good. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'll sleep on it.
Yeah. Mac, please share your thoughts.
Wait, before you go.
Yeah, I still really like this. I feel like it really is just, like, such a
Movie.
It was filmed.
His life's
No, it's like such a vibe. It's the movie, like, it's just so quiet. It's just him. It's driving around.
And it's not like he's a crying bitch. There's, like, only a couple scenes where you actually see him cry.
Yeah. And
I wish he was more of a crime bitch.
no, yeah, and I like all the scenery and stuff, and all the from the window looking out. I really dug that. It's weird because, like, for this movie, like, maybe it's because I'm, like, such a fanboy or something, but, like, I don't think this is, like, boring at all or anything. Like, I was in it for the whole time, and, like, this, like I don't even, like, I wouldn't even call this slow, because, like, even like.
Well, is it a thing where you don't think it's slow, or it doesn't feel slow?
Oh, well, I guess yeah, I know what you're talking. It doesn't feel slow, I guess.
Okay, I guess so.
Because, like, what's it called? I think maybe just because I've watched some Gus Van Sant movies that I would say feel a lot slower than this. And, like, this one, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff done with the camera, like a lot of, like, just, like, weird zoom-ins and, like, close-ups and stuff.
And, like, sometimes the camera looks like it has, like, dirt on it, or, like, the way the light
The sun glare
gets
is
picked
awesome.
up.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many. So
I think it looks
awesome.
cool.
So many good times of that. And then I think also like the few times that there was music in this, I actually really loved those parts.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, Chris caught me Shazamming a song.
Yeah.
And he made a point to tell me. And I was like, okay, bitch, good for you. With your extensive knowledge of music.
Those are great.
It's also funny because you can just wait to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Don't forget to do it. It'll be done.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be over.
It's over.
I think for me, and I think this is also maybe that I'm just such a fanboy or something. Like I can tell that like Vincent Gallo is not the best actor or anything, but like that doesn't even like take me out of the movie or like get me annoyed or anything.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me finish. I know you have a lot.
Yeah.
Carlos is literally doing sign language right now.
There's just one thing. It's funny you say that just because like, I never thought Vincent Gallo was as a bad actor. You know, I just saw him.
I mean, well, I just think
In this?
he can kind of come off a certain way.
He just is. That's just him.
He's just Gallo.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like-
exactly.
It's authentic.
I never think of him as a bad actor. I think that I laugh because of this group. You know what I mean? I think if we didn't talk so much stupid shit about him, I'd be like, no, he just has a very particular way of being an actor. This and then Buffalo 66, I'm like, no, I was never like, oh, he's bad.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's just so fucking weird.
No, his voice is also kind of funny.
I just heard shitty things about him. We watched Buffalo 66. I think that movie's great. It gives me faith about the one other film we can watch by him.
Wait,
But
this
what?
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, because I watched Buffalo 66 like a long time ago. I feel like it was over a year ago at this point.
Probably.
And so, like this has been like a long time coming. We've been joking about it for a while. But, I want to say actually I'm kind of glad we watched it because I think this is an interesting conversation and it is a very controversial film.
Oh, yeah.
And this will never be published. No.
Oh, really?
No,
Roger Ebert.
I'll post this on YouTube.
The budget on this was $10 million? Are you fucking kidding me?
Bullshit.
Really?
Jesus. I guess it was shot.
Vincent
It
spent it all. He spent it on freaking gambling. What did he do?
it was
What's
shot.
amazing?
It was shot on 16
That was the
millimeter.
3-hour cut.
That's pretty cool. It was shot on 16 millimeter film, but even that wouldn't explain the $10 million. What the fuck was he
I
doing?
don't know.
Well, there's also a lot of interesting stuff that he says in the
scenes.
behind the scenes audio commentary. A lot of production issues, especially like some weird ones, like with like the motorcycles. Like
He just bought a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all
He bought a motorcycle for himself.
do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
No,
there's
no.
this thing with like Japan and like
I kind of
Honda?
heard about that.
they like had to make him like use like this certain type of motorcycle or something, but then he like got mad at them and like
Wasn't it like banned in Japan?
No,
or
it was
something?
I will say, in the end, I mean, maybe they do this in other movies and I just never noticed, but in the credits of this movie, they specified the car he was driving. Maybe that had something to do where it's just like, hey, like, I don't know. Like,
That's in other movies, though.
Oh, it's in other movies?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like, thank you to Honda.
because I saw that and I thought it was odd because it was like, hey, just to specify, like, oh, maybe it's not like a sponsor or something, like.
You only
Yeah, I don't think that
noticed-
Honda would want to be associated with this bullshit.
You only
No,
noticed because there was like
seriously.
8 names in the
You know I
credits.
don't think
Yeah,
bullshit
exactly.
like
Yeah. No, yeah. But $10 million
I don't know.
for a 2-hour long movie. I wonder.
Well, that's this. That's why I'm so confused.
Did he go to space?
He bought so many motorcycles for each shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the behind-the-scenes production issues. The pants wouldn't unzip, so he had to get another pair of pants, and he got like Gucci pants or something.
Maybe he paid Chloe like an insane amount, like $1 million or something. Maybe he paid her like.
No, you couldn't convince a production company like, hey, in order for this girl to suck my dick, you're gonna need to pay more money.
They were dating at the time.
I guess, but still.
Didn't she also date Harmony Korine?
Yeah.
Oh
they
gosh.
did for a while.
Poor girl.
Chloe's about to be on Variety's Actors on Actors. You see that? She's gonna be talking to Kim Kardashian. Why the fuck did they pair the two of them? And what the hell has Kim acted in?
Bro, you didn't see a disaster movie?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Don't wait. What were you gonna say? Don't tell me what.
Don't tell me Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Oh, you were gonna say that.
It was better recent disaster movie.
Apparently, on that topic. Oh wait, were you were gonna say something?
Well, I was gonna try to get us back on track.
Okay, I mean,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say apparently like this film, the way it's shot. I think maybe Vincent Gallo said this. I think maybe you know more. It was like he tried to make it look like a porn or something.
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
I feel like I do.
Because he wanted to use like the iconography of like pornography, but put it into a context where like,
You know what?
you kind of
That's
see
actually really cool.
you kind of see like that there's more to it than just the sex, you know.
That's actually pretty interesting.
But I was
I'll
also
look
gonna
into
say, this movie. He said this movie ruined his life. It's a really funny video. Sim saying like I couldn't get laid for 6 years. Remember that? He said I was hopeless. Remember that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I have not seen that. Put the clip up. Put the clip up.
I wish I never made the Brown Bunny. It ruined my life for the past 3 years. It ruined my body. I haven't had a date or a relationship with a girl in 4 fucking years. I haven't really made out in a real way with anybody. I lived in a hotel out of a suitcase for 3 years to make the film. My whole life fell apart. So yes, it was nice being in the cinema last night being booed for 2 hours. Yes, it was nice. I don't mean to complain or anything. I'm a lucky person. And homes.
He said it was the most hated film in the history of the world, the worst film to debut icons.
Is that before or after he called Coppola a fat pig?
I don't know. But it was like years after.
Hey, he did it to
came
himself.
out.
Vincent Gallo did that.
Hey, he broke all the rules, and only the real ones like it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of that, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna give this in terms of a rating. It's like it could fluctuate, cause like okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's hard for me to say that I liked this. It's hard, and there's a part of me that almost wanna say that like it was kind of bad, but I can't. But then you'd be like, oh, then just mid. I don't even know if it's that. Like it's really it's bouncing back and forth between a 4, a 5, and a 6. And
No, that's pretty big.
Well,
yeah.
A 6 out of 5? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Out of 10, you know, and so like it's definitely it's going back and forth between those, just because like I really do like it's one of those things. I might just settle with a 2.5, but like I doubt this will ever go up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really tough because I feel like it's tough. It's really tough. I'm gonna say 5 out of 10 for now.
Okay.
But anyone else want to throw out their ratings before we end this? Carlos, I think you should watch it without dosing.
Unreviewable. This is one of those.
Unreviewable. Yeah, no, I do want to watch it. With like being like not asleep for like maybe a third of it. I think I was asleep for less than a third of it though. I don't think I was asleep for that much.
Well, still.
No, I know, but also it's one of those movies that I go to bed, I wake up, and the same shit's happening, so I don't think I missed anything. Not just playing. Don't look at me like
Wait,
that.
what? Oh.
It was just a joke.
No, I just genuinely was confused, but then it made sense.
The only part of the movie that I didn't like, that I saw at least, was like the very, very opening of just driving around in circles. I was like, okay. I was like, wait. I was a little bit worried, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is like, is this gonna be one of the ones that just test my patience? And I'm gonna be like, oh my god, come on.
He's gonna look at his phone.
Well, I do that just to stay awake.
No,
it's not even just because I'm fuck. No, but that was the worst part of it. And I know you said you didn't like, some of the opening stuff, like him talking to that girl.
At the gas station and her parents.
I thought that was awesome.
Oh. Okay.
I was like in it right from them. I was like, oh my god, wait, okay, this is actually interesting. And then from there,
contrast.
I know, from just driving in circles, zooming into a race. And yeah, I guess that was it. I mean, I would probably guess, kind of like what Troy was saying, like how you went from like a 4, 5, or a 6. No joke, this could probably go for me from a 6, 7, or an 8.
What?
No, yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. This is not even a bit.
This is what?
It's not even This ain't a bit. I'm only laughing because you guys' reaction. I'm serious.
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm not fucking around. I'm sincerely only smiling because of your guys' reaction.
We never could have guessed.
Why did you hate this until you said that.
I didn't hate this.
Well,
I never
it
said
sounded-
anything. The biggest discussion that we had was about the explicit scene. You know,
Yeah.
that was really
You're a
pissed me off.
contrarian. No, I'm just
It sounded like, well, Carlos, just the way you were explaining it, it sounded like you really like struggled with that scene, like did not like it, and it sounded like you even tainted the film. And
It did to an extent. That's why I think the 8 would be pretty fucking major. But I can't lie in saying that I couldn't. Especially, like I said, hearing you guys talk about it.
Also because simply me watching, because, I watched it for the first time, too. Me watching it, I was thinking, like, okay, not only is I know it's late, so maybe that's why you were dozing off, but I was also like, it just doesn't quite seem like
It's a lot of factors.
It doesn't quite seem like something that Carlos
Yeah,
would
no,
dig that
but
much.
before this movie started, you said, I think girls will hate this, or something like that. And I thought so too. I'm like, oh god.
No, there were parts of this.
It's gonna be
there
another
were parts,
Boomy.
There were parts of this when I was like, I think I might like this more in Buffalo 66.
Wow.
No, that I remember when I first watched. When I first had seen them both, they were like kind of neck and neck. I think after watching this the second time, I
Well,
still like
all
this.
this really did is like.
But I think Buffalo's better.
I think Buffalo's way better.
And I think I can recall more from that movie. I haven't seen it in a while. Who knows? Maybe I'll like this more. But I think that movie is just like...
Buffalo's great.
Yeah, I think it's better. But they're both kind of on par with each other. Like, very different, but both good.
Yeah.
I'd say.
No, I'm just, at this point, I'm just really excited to rewatch Buffalo now. Because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll find... Because I liked it a lot when we watched it. I just didn't give it I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I might even dig that one.
Yeah. But it is Punch Drunk Love.
Also, Chris, it's the same thing we always go back to, and it's like this type of experimental filmmaking when it's like 90 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm serious. Think about the ones that I give in high score. Officers are. It's like shit like that. It's like 90 minutes. It's like,
Yes.
it's like, dude, this is the perfect runtime for this type of bullshit.
For this type of bullshit.
Because you go any more, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Alright, your next film will be Color of Pomegranates.
Yeah. Oh, dude, honestly, you should.
No, honestly, like,
At
if you
this
like
point,
this...
fine.
Yeah.
If what you said is
80
true, then
minutes.
Pomegranates...
Let's just make sure I get a full 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Carlos, sorry for laughing.
I want to rewatch Daisies. I wanna rewatch that one.
Daisies and Goodbye Dragon.
Yeah.
Your 3 next films.
Just triple feature.
Yeah.
Sure.
Carlos,
The next triple feature.
Sorry for laughing so hard. It's also because when you said, like, oh yeah, I'm like you, Troy, I thought you were going to say, like, I'm also between
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6,
Yeah,
and then you say a 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, the
and I'm
reason
like, whoa!
The reason why I said like you because you were bouncing from 3.
Yeah.
Only for like from 3 different scores.
I get it.
Not like the same.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, I'm like you, Troy.
No,
You
'cause,
say
like,
6,
I mean,
7, and 8, and I look at
guess-
Chris, and we're just like, what?
Because then I guess let me do this real quick because I think maybe I came off as way harsh over the entire recording. Well, okay. Well, who?
No.
You should
It's
watch
not a joke.
this.
Oh,
Managed
okay.
Sleeps,
You
definitely.
should watch this.
That one seems cool. You said it was kind of like the
What's
segment
this?
that I showed you.
What's this? What's this?
It was Man with Movie Camera.
Ah.
But Godard's still a no for you.
Okay, hold on. Let's get that. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So
And
like
Persona.
I was saying,
You don't make sense. No, I'm just kidding.
that one
Is an exception.
We'll hold off on Persona because that shit feels like it's 3 hours long. Just kidding. No, just playing. Or am I? I never know. I really was like, angry at that one scene in this movie because, like I said, those are real emotions. What I said, and I was like, did this taint the entire thing? And then hearing you guys talk about it, it's like, no. I mean, I can see.
It's not pointless.
I can see how it's not pointless, but I would love to see how it works. I would love to see how it'll work in when I watch it for the full thing, you know. But just to make sure that it doesn't seem like I hated this thing, because obviously no, if I said that, no, I dig. Yeah. The whole feeling of this.
Sure.
I dig
okay, I understand.
what the movie is, how it's created. I don't know. Just like I said, it just feels like we're in the car of Vincent Gallo.
And there's nothing else I want more in the world.
Wait, non-derogatory. I feel like that could also be like a negative review.
Yeah.
And we're just in the car with this doofus.
Yeah.
No, and I guess the thing that Chris said actually really like put a better. It made it a bit more. I saw it like, no, yeah, this guy really, as an actor, or I guess as an artist, it's vulnerable to put yourself in a state of like, yeah, in one way I was like, this is the biggest humble brag of a movie, of like looking at how much women he just throw themselves at him, and he just makes out with women, random women, and just does this shit.
Well,
And
after
it's
if it was his attempt of showing that, he fucked himself for that one.
No,
but he couldn't get laid for 6 years.
But then you actually
like a
look,
soy beta.
then you look at the context of what this is.
Yeah.
It's just like pointless, like moments of just physical, like, you know, like a random girl is making out with them, just finding random girls, and just, but he can never take himself to the point of actually, you know, being with a woman in that way since her dying, and then the movie becomes like kind of actually pretty interesting, and how it's presenting the idea of this, or what this guy is going through. And it is pretty vulnerable as a performer, as an actor, to portray yourself like kind of a fucking loser.
Yeah. And it's something you don't see often. Just that level of depravity.
Yeah, and it's so, I don't want to say, I mean, I guess you could say unique, but it just feels like this movie is this movie. Like this. There's
only one brown bunny, whether you love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I dig the music, I dig the visuals. I love some of the feelings it creates for me. Like I said, just about kind of being in a car and just seeing sights, and it just creates certain feelings in me. Like the sequence, besides the last part after the explicit scene, when it's the part where it's raining and that song is playing called "Beautiful" and it's kind of foggy. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. So no, I guess I only say all this to. I didn't want it to seem like I hated the whole thing.
No. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, because I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bit.
If you
I didn't think it was. I was genuinely just like,
an
what?
A. If you give us an 8, I think I'm gonna kill you.
Kill yourself.
So stupid.
Okay, Mack, what are you gonna give it?
10.
What do you have it at? What, an 8 right now?
I think I have it an 8, and it's probably gonna stay at an 8.
Okay.
But I was gonna say,
you went to 4.5. Crazy bastard.
You're a liar.
Unless this is a different review.
Well, no, look at it.
I lowered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think it's good. Yeah, no, that was the most shocking thing I've heard in a long time. Either a 6, 7, or an 8.
No, but see, but that's like this movie. That's why it's such a crazy thing for me, because like a 6 to an 8 is pretty insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's so much that I can think about now and kind of try to see and unpack, and you know, it could fluctuate. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It really could. You know.
I was gonna say, I know you fell asleep, and I know even then, it's such a strange kind of movie that it's hard to analyze in a way. But what do you think you prefer over Buffalo 66 in this?
Which one?
Probably.
Just off the top of my head, probably Buffalo 66. Okay. It's just a bit more of semblance of a story and structure, but it's just a bit more. I mean, well, there is a story in that, but it's also, I love just a really interesting dynamic between characters, you know, and that's what that one gives. It's two people, you know, it's like it's a relationship, it's a bond. And this one is mostly just, I mean, there's obviously other girls in this movie, but it really is kind of the Vincent Gallo show. And I think, yeah, since it has more semblance of a story and structure, and probably Buffalo.
Yeah.
Probably Buffalo.
I'd say it's easier to watch. I'd say I admire this one more in a way.
This one's a bit more audacious.
Well, like I said, like I really appreciate like what it's doing, and I do think
it's more daring.
Like
it
is
it's trying to be
vastly different from Buffalo 66. It feels like it's two different directors, two different. You
know,
know,
and
like,
I would say that
maybe
in a way it's kind of sad that he didn't make a movie, or he did make a movie after this, right? Just no one saw it.
Promises written in water.
Mackenzie's seen it.
Yeah, Mackenzie owns the only copy.
No,
because he woke up in the middle of the night and Vincent Gallo, covered in butter, gave it to him. I'll cut that.
No, keep that in. Actually, loop it twice.
I'll make a YouTube short of it. And I'll have someone animate it.
So, but it's interesting you guys say that it feels like two vastly different directors, because I look at it as like, and maybe it's just because he stars in both of them. That's why I can't like differentiate them, but. No, I feel like this is definitely still like what I would imagine a Vincent Gallo picture would be, because the first one, it had its little quirks, it had its little moments, you know, its little, I guess, idiosyncrasies that he brings to the table.
Yeah.
And that one, Buffalo had interesting things, you know, like the whole picture-in-picture. I can't describe it any better than that, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like when
Buffalo. Buffalo
and
tickled my fancy more often.
And the segments of just like it starts like just music, you know, in Buffalo when it's just like a song is playing, the dad is singing,
King Crimson.
Yeah, and then her dancing to that. No, it would have been interesting to see what he would have done next after this. But also, he seems like a pretty troubled guy in real life. I'm not even joking, because I'm not trying to be a dick about it. But he seems like a little bit off the rails, unhinged.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Let's talk about his politics like after this. Review.
Well, you know what happened to great Hollywood actor Vincent Gallo. You know, after Hollywood canceled him, and now he's in great content by the Daily Wire. You know,
so. Would have been the GOAT.
What? What voice was that? That was
That's Roger Ebert.
That's not true. Oh no, but Roger Ebert did nothing wrong. He was just stating his opinion.
Yeah, even though it ruined the man's life.
Yeah,
McKinney's pulling a gun out of his pocket. I'm trying to be that's on Vincent.
No,
also.
it is.
That's on Vinny.
No, I'm just saying. He could have pivoted and he still had some semblance of power to make a movie. You know, I'm sure he could have. Yeah.
Relating the word power to Vincent Gallo.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I mean, you probably know more about this than I do. So, but, you know, he's saying that Roger Ebert ruined his whole career, or like this the fallout of this movie ruined his whole career.
Oh yeah.
I still think he probably, you know, he still had some power in the industry. He probably
would have. I feel like it's just more so he just didn't want to.
Yeah.
After the fallout of people's opinions?
Yeah, like why give these people something and they're just going to trash it?
Yeah, I was going to say...
Keep being an artist then, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you got to keep in mind where it's just like, when everyone's literally shitting on you.
No, worst movie at con. Worst movie ever made.
Worst movie ever made. It's hard to, like, to feel the drive to make something more, because, I mean... I'm sure someone any artist where it's like they were able to like move people and like be recognized and have people understand them, it pushes them to make something more, you know. But to have everyone shut it down and say that, you know, you're worthless, loser, and like no one is willing to give you the money even to make your art, you just lose the drive.
And also, especially when you put yourself so unabashedly vulnerable on the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be insensitive because like I know me, and that would kill me, you know, if I made something and it'd be like, oh, this is fucking garbage. I'd be like, damn, that would really hurt. But then it's like, you know what?
Keep going.
You got to keep going. Yeah. You know, and he did in his own way. I'm sure.
Like he was in that Julie Delpy film.
You're the actor Vincent Gallo, right?
Yeah, the actor, the director, the poet, the fashion model, motorcycle racer, legend, and the owner of your soul. Yes, Vincent Gallo, me.
He was in Tetra.
He's in Megalopolis. Didn't you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Was Tetra good?
No.
Chris has not seen
it.
No. We know it's not good.
Dude, it's actually not that
Shut
bad.
Up. Are you kidding me?
It's not that bad.
Bro,
it's not that bad.
You're like Vincent Gallo.
Bro, I remember one time I was conflicted, you know.
All right.
Okay.
Thus concludes the Brown Bunny.